Good morning, folks. I'm Joan, and I know I haven't been on for a while, but there's a good reason. Um, Hang on, my light is a little too bright. There we go. As you could see by the thumbnail pictures, life and life's events, um, and the title, unexpected, you know, we've been through a lot for the last couple of weeks. Um, some good events, some bad events, which is why we need to talk. We've all been through stuff, every one of us. Um, Hopefully, some of you have been through some good. Unfortunately, many of you have been through some bad. And as I read my news channels, you know, my alternate news channels, not mainstream, I'm seeing all kinds of bad. I mean, all kinds of. I'm not even so many YouTubers, content creators have focused on airplane crashes, helicopters falling out of the sky or in the Hudson and whatever. Uh, Aviation accidents. I looked it up yesterday. There was 90 some aviation accidents that caused death. Now, and there's a lot of people. Every time I go on and I listen to certain videos, I'm seeing it. This one stopped breathing. That one stopped breathing. I got to be careful. Um, these There are people unaliving themselves. They're just in my area, and I've already told you, small, rural, right? We had 2 fatal accidents. One killed unalived one person. The other one unalived 3 people. It was a head-on. Just 3 miles from my community. I I I'm short on words here. There is so much of it. And then an acquaintance of my family, wonderful person, wonderful person, popular person, community service person, his whole life serving the community. Freaky accident took his life. Unexpected. Well, nobody expects a freaky accident, right? But that doesn't lessen the pain of this person no longer being in your life. My heart was ripped out when I heard about this person because I know the whole family like my own. It affected a member of my family. That particular person was a father figure to a member of my immediate family. Heart-wrenching. And there's so many of you that are going through this. And it's like, what? Make it stop. You just wanna say, "Make it stop," but you can't. You can't. That's evolution. That's life. We just have to learn to deal with it. As hard as that is, we have to learn to deal with it. And then there's others that are cold-hearted, say, "Oh, accept it and move on." Makes you wanna just punch them in the mouth, right? Accept it and move on. You're supposed to accept that important void in your life that left in a flash? No, that's not how grief works. Not at all. I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I've been through my life, and you read my bio, you could tell. Grief doesn't take a week. Grief doesn't take a month. Grief doesn't take a year. It's a process. It's a process. And some people put it in their subconscious and try to move on like, "Okay, that was a month ago. Let's move on." But it's still stuck back here because they haven't dealt with it. Let's just tuck it's like putting it in a old suitcase and put it in the back of the closet. It's not how our mind works. That's not a that is not a healthy way to deal with grief at all. Because eventually, you're gonna clean out that closet and you're gonna grab that old suitcase, and that grief is gonna smack you right in the face. And you're gonna be down, mentally down. Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, but it will hit you like a ton of bricks because you haven't dealt with it yet. You tucked it way back here. Grief is a funny thing. Not funny at all. You know what I mean. Some people can bury it, not healthy. Some people can they have to process. They have to go through the motions. They have to emotionally feel every single void in their world that the loved one used to deal with. And now you're made to deal with it. When they say there's 10 steps to grief, it doesn't come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it doesn't come that way. In the beginning, you're gonna feel the shock, and then when they say, "Okay, step 2, step 3, step 4," it's not gonna come in a sequence like that. I'll give you an example. When my niece passed, her sibling was standing at the foot of the bed at that last breath. Her grief was anger. She was literally screaming at her sister after the last breath. Now, some would say, well, anger is like the fourth or fifth step. Not for it doesn't go that way. It's not A, B, C, or D. The emotions are there, and when it's time for you to express that emotion of grief, it'll come when it comes. The shock will immediately hit you, yes, of course. For many, upon hearing it, upon seeing it, or maybe it wasn't a shock. Maybe this person, whomever the person might be to you, maybe it was an elder that was critically ill. And so it's not a shock. You might even look at it as a blessing for this very ill, incapable, suffering elder. In that case, you pray to God to be merciful. And one day God does. And you're prepared. You're mentally prepared for this. However, gone is gone. There is still a void. Those holiday dinners, those little emotional, educational talks, the bits of wisdom and advice you used to get from that person, gone. Maybe you used to talk to that person intimately to where you couldn't talk to anybody else the way you talk to that person, gone. That's when you feel it. Even though you prayed to God to be merciful and to take this person out of pain and suffering because you just couldn't bear to see it anymore. For their sake, you didn't want them to feel that without looking further. There is still a void. Yes, you're happy they're not suffering anymore. Not dance happy. You know what I'm saying? You feel that person is blessed going home, right? But at some point, you're still going to feel the void. What I'm getting to with all this is, in looking at all the aviation accidents, family of 6 on a holiday, helicopter crashes, all of them gone. Whole family wiped out. Look at that one in Washington, DC, all those families that were aboard that airliner. What was that, 74 people? Well, 4 of them were in the helicopter. Look at how many families. Look at how many precious moments their families had with them that are no longer there. Car accidents. A grandma was in one of the vehicles. A parent, a grandma, maybe a great grandma. She was old enough. Well enough to drive until that head-on collision. And the 2 gentlemen that were in the other vehicle. Both had the same last name. That's a double hit on that family. One was younger, one was older. I don't know if it was father and son. I don't know if it was uncle, nephew. I don't know. Same last name, though. My whole point to this discussion, conversation, there are so many families torn apart right now. There are so many friends that are torn apart right now. People are getting bitter. People are getting ugly. People are getting nasty. You see it. I see it. In a little small community, I see the hostility. I can hear it in people's voice. People are fed up. They're fed up. If it's not the prices, it's the gas pumps, the food. The they're fed up. The bills are coming in the mailbox every single day. Yet they gotta go to this grocery store because the shelves are empty and they have to make a choice. Do we pay that bill that's in the mailbox? Or do we go buy lunch meat so that I can make my children sandwiches? People are at the end of their ropes. You are feeling it. Did you go fill up your gas tank? Oh, it's coming down. Penny here, penny there. Pumps by me are still $3.19. That's a far cry from $1.99 5 years ago. So people are short. People are fed up. When you walk in a grocery store, what was customary is when somebody passed you, you smiled and said, "Have a nice day. How are you?" I don't hear it anymore. I don't hear it. People are looking down. They're looking down as they're walking out of the store. They're in their own little world. The monkey mind is taking over. The polite smiles, the polite have a nice days, they're gone. People are preoccupied in they're consumed in their own troubles. And it's affecting their personalities, it's affecting their home life, it's affecting everything. And families are ripping apart. In the meantime, every single day. Tragedies are happening. People are becoming unalived. What I'm saying is, people, put your bitterness to the side. Yeah, you might be feeling the economic pressure. Yes, it's making you angry. Don't take it out on your loved ones. Don't take that anger of what's in the mailbox and the amount that's missing out of your wallet. Don't take that bitterness to your dinner table. Because you know what? Who's sitting at your dinner table today may not be sitting at your dinner table tomorrow. Not as a choice, but as an unexpected event. Do you see what I'm saying? Please, please mend your bridges. Please mend the ill feelings, the ugly words, the discontent, the anger. Mend that bridge. Because who did what to you today that made you angry? It won't affect you tomorrow. But you know what? There might not be a tomorrow. One of yous might not be a tomorrow. Think about it. You know, there's a lot of people that I've heard say that they grew up with the words, when you and your husband have a fight or you and your wife have a fight, don't ever go to bed angry because at some point that person might not wake up and you're going to have to live with that guilt all the rest of your life. How very true those words are. But you got to remember, it's not just husband or wife. You fighting with your kids? Did your kid leave for work today and you said something nasty to him? God forbid there's a something, an issue, and that person doesn't make it back home to the dinner table. And the last words you said were negative, nasty, and lowballing. Is that really how you want to end that relationship? Not by choice, by God's will. Your bitter, nasty words, is that really the last words that you want stuck in your head that came out of your nastiness that day? Please think about this. Please think about this. Think about your actions toward others. Don't take your life events out on strangers. Don't take your life events out on other loved ones that aren't affected by it. Don't do that. Because what's bothering you and eating at you today tomorrow might be a wonderful day for you, but yet you can't take words back. You can't take anger back that you spewed out at somebody. You can't take that back. So, people, in these life-changing events, and it's been happening to all of us, please wake up every morning and thank God for another beautiful sunny day. Even if it's raining, thank Him for another beautiful day. And do your best to make it pleasant for everybody you come across. Because you don't know what other people have on their mind. You don't know the sadness they're going through, the grief they're going through, the economic push they're going through. You don't know any of it. They might be on their last string of sanity, and your smile just might make their day. Instead of purposely bumping them with a shopping cart and say, "Get the hell out of my way." No. Move your shopping cart and say, "I'm sorry. I just wasn't paying attention." And smile. You never know what's going through the other person's mind. They might be on their tipping point. Be pleasant. Be mindful. Be kind. And pray about what's within that's eating you up. It's important. God bless you all. I hope you got something out of this. I'm sorry for disappearing for a week and a half, but it's been an awful lot going on in my family. Not only a lost one, but birthdays. April's a very busy month in my family. Everybody decided to be born in April. So, you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Look at your blessings, not your downfalls. Remember, I love you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll always be here for you. My email is there. If you need to talk, give me an email. Talk to you soon. Love you. A new station alert.